So it's five. You want it? It's a $5 levy there, which is 10,545.
Yep.
1,545, and then we're expecting, say, 280 screens from District 9800 at $20. Is that what you meant?
That's correct.
So $20 by 280 is that's 5,600.
Hello, Ian Goldsmith.
G'day, Philip Archer. How are you?
Hello, Jenny Moran.
My apologies.
Hello, Lynn.
Hi.
Hello, Sue Foley.
You move, please.
Long time no speak.
Hello, everyone.
Where is she?
And just to clarify, do we assume there is no sponsorship money, Phil?
No, there is $20,000. I can get that to Brian in the next week.
Okay.
Is that what we budgeted, Brian? I haven't got the budget in front of me. Sorry.
No, I brought it down to 15,000.
Well, we can send you 20,000.
Good, thank you. Okay.
Give people another few minutes before we start.
Hello, Bruce.
Hello.
Ian Goldsmith, you look like you've got a very clean room behind you.
Because I do nothing all day, Philip. I just clean up and housework and work my fingers to the bones. Which is like most of us men, of course.
Not.
What are you smiling at, Lynn? It looks as though you didn't believe me.
No, well, I know how men work.
Why do women always say that?
When no woman's ever been able to work it out.
So, Ian, you're
Oops.
who's looking after the money?
Brian.
Brian.
Oh, Brian. Okay. I just hope he got all the money I sent through from District 9790.
No, when did that come?
Oh, I authorised the transfer quite a few days ago. It should have come through by now.
Okay, I haven't checked it just in the last day, so I can do that.
Yeah, it'd probably be in the last day. No, it would have come in from a Bendigo bank.
Oh, good. Thank you very much indeed. I appreciate it. So that was at the $5 for your...
Yeah, that was the levy. Yeah.
Yeah, 7,680. Oh, you're a champ. Thank you very much, Bruce.
And it sounds like it's a non-refundable levy, even if we make a profit based upon the last email this afternoon.
I'm not privy to the last email.
If that suits everybody.
No, that's all right. All good.
So Brian, we were all in agreement with that process of charging the levy, which included the extra funds for the number of people you allocated in terms of the screens, that we were expecting at $20 a screen.
Sorry, I just missed that aspect. $20 a what?
A screen.
A screen, yeah.
Can I ask a question, Philip, if we're not starting just yet? Because I have to go, and I know Steve's there to report, but I did send Sandy an email. I have two very specific questions, Philip, for you. One is regards to both the governor and Jennifer Jones. Are you following them up with details, or you are following
follow
up
them
both?
up, and then as soon as they've agreed, we'll get you communicating with them, Jenny, to onboard them.
Okay, so you'll need to give me email addresses for those two. And I presume the governor actually is an aide, probably, that's sort of the intermediary. So it'd be nice to have the name for that person.
I'll have that to you as soon as they've agreed. Okay.
That's good. That's good.
I might start the meeting if that suits everybody. Can I welcome everyone and point out an obvious fact? We have just over 2 months to go. We have some apologies from Elmer and Mark, and on my agenda, Jody. Is there anybody else?
Yeah, we've got Patricia has just been held up, so she's just apologised as well.
Good. The minutes of the previous meeting have been circulated. Has anyone got any comments in respect to the minutes?
Could we just introduce our new member, Leslie? I don't think I've met Leslie online before.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm from Rotary Club of Oakley, Clayton, Huntingdale, so part of District 9800, and just Elmer's had me come on board to help assist with the show bags once that's underway.
To be clear, 9810. Perhaps, Leslie?
Sorry. Yes, that's right. I haven't changed districts. Sorry.
We thought we'd afforded a new
And Leslie, are you driving as you're talking to us?
I'm passengering. My husband's driving.
As long as you're not driving, that's
No, all good.
it's all good.
Well, welcome aboard, Leslie.
Thank you.
Good. Can I go back to the minutes? Is there any comments in respect to the minutes before I move on?
Oh, sorry, there is one more apology. Quinn Scalzo. My apologies, Gary.
Okay, if you could just record that, that would be appreciated. There's a number of matters arising out of the minutes, but I might just leave them for people to talk about when we get to the reports. We've touched upon the finance report. One of the things that are important for this meeting, and perhaps Brian, if I could ask you to comment, one of the important things I'm at least concerned about at this point in time is getting as publicity out there. To what extent have we got a provision in what might be the revised budget for publicity?
Okay, yeah, Gary, I haven't changed the expenditure side of it at all, except for the collection of tribe booking and so forth. I thought that might disappear if we're not having the $20, but I need to reinstate that now, so it's a small figure going in there. Getting back to promotion, I haven't had any detail on what to put in there, but I have allowed $10,000 to cover a launch, advertising, social media, recognising I don't think we're going to have a website, and a MailChimp license, $600. So I would appreciate if the people that are doing this could give me some ideas on and firm up on what we're intending to spend.
I will send you the PR expenditure and budget items in the next week.
Okay, thanks, Philip. Do you think 10,000 is going to be sufficient, Philip?
I think it'll be fine. Otherwise, we'll get some sponsorship money, and the sponsorship money we'll send you is 20,000, so that you can say there's a little bit of a contingency there as well. Ian, Pierre, you and I will have a discussion about that, and we'll employ someone who will do our social media work for us.
Yep.
Experience has been mainly recent with us, and she helped us with the Australia Day event and some other events. So we'll need to grow a small budget of around 2,000 or 3,000 for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc.
Philip, while dealing with promotion, I assume we're going to now, if we're not charging anything for people to join, are we going to try and aim at a broader audience than just Rotarians?
That's a very good idea, and we've always wanted to go for the public. So I think with social media, the Friends of Rotary is a good catchment, and we have quite a few of them join us for Australia Day. So there's no reason why we can't do that for this event as well. The show bag We'll need to try and get our heads around just how many show bags we need. So that's the conundrum, because in Rotary, people will always book the last minute. And for a free event with a little bit of a donation, it's how long is a piece of string? So Brian's budget suggests how many people will attend, Brian?
800. 800 screens.
800 screens, so that's about 1,600 people roughly.
Maybe, yeah.
I think the other big promotional piece is around having the club dinners on the Friday night and encouraging people to do something great to get people back COVID safe in a face-to-face meeting sense. We can't do it at the conference, but we can in a club meeting sense. So have the club dinners on the Friday night as we planned. So that could be something we spend some money on. Yep.
So there's two parts to promotion, Philip. One is, of course, promoting the conference and attendance online generally. The other is liaising with the clubs individually across the districts in respect to what we're asking them to do, which obviously can be broken down firstly to promoting the conference, secondly, participation by having club meetings.
Club dinners.
I wonder whether we need to have someone appointed as part of that subcommittee to deal with that aspect.
No, Ian, myself and Pierre will carry that through with Ali, who's our social media person. And we might need the web page to have some details on there. So when people book, they can get some ideas on how to do their club dinners in a COVID safe way.
Okay. Brian, is there anything else you want to say on the finance, or is it something that we need to meet and have a chat about separately?
No, I would like to speak about it. I think it's, I've just been doing some numbers here now, and I think it's good for everyone to sort of know where we're at. So given this new structure now with, so no attendance fees per se, and the districts to come up with a levy, I've now determined under the formula that you've given me that the total revenue will be 62,190. So that's 5,160 less than what I had in the zero fee option, and then that translates to a surplus of 5,553. So that's a reduction of the surplus. So we're getting down to a break-even number. I think that's everything else is reasonably as it was previously. The big items being the production cost, which I've got in there at $20,000, and ideally like to see some firm sort of estimates, quotes, if you like, on the production. It's our biggest or nearly our biggest item. I've allowed for some catering at the studio at Nossal School there of $2,000 for people that are going to be there doing things. Marketing promotion I mentioned before is $10,000, and that's a very round number. So I look forward to hearing something from Philip there. I shall put back. Oh no, hang on. No, why don't we've got if Philip's.
I should have 20,000 to play with from what I've read before.
Yeah, sorry, and the sponsorship. I should have added that. That sponsorship is included in the revenue number I gave you. So that's $20,000 of sponsorship, which leaves our total revenue at 62,000, 5,000 short of what I had there in the budget that you should have in front of you. For $8,000 for show bags, programs, however that comes out, email or however, I've put, there's $2,000 in there for that. And I've got a $10,000 contingency. So as I say, that comes down to a surplus of $5,500.
I know Mark's not here, but I'm very sure that his budget wouldn't need any more than the $20,000. It should actually need a little bit less, so I'm sure he will have that to you. I know we've all been flat out busy with what we're doing as governors, so I'm sure he'll get that to you very shortly. But based on July the 10th at Government House and based on the Australia Day event, I'm confident that that 20,000 will be fine for Mark and his team.
Good. Okay, I think that's all from me, Gary. I think I've got a cash flow there and revenue and expenses, and that brings everyone up to date, I think.
And just to explain, Alma did go into bat saying she'd like it to be no cost to the attendees. After we'd agreed that we'd charge a small fee of $20 per screen, Mark Humphreys argued for it. I think the rest of us just said we'll go with whatever those two agreed with, and we ended up saying, right, let's do it for free, but let's also add in a donation option, so people can put a donation in of $10, $50, $100, or whatever they wanted to put in towards polio or the foundation. So as long as that was there, I was comfortable that there was some skin in the game for attendees coming in.
So there's, I take it from Alma that I don't include those donations in the budget. It's just something that's like a windfall if it happens.
And it goes through per district. So whoever's in that district, if they donate money, then that donation goes towards that district's foundation dollars.
And how did you envisage that we deal with that? Will there be, how do we collect it?
So it'll come through on the system on Try Booking or Humanitics, and each person will have their district or club, first club and then the district. So the system will be able to tell you just how many dollars came in for each district. And then it depends on the district governor as to whether we send it to the polio campaign or to the foundation campaign. So that'll be fairly simple. Mark has assured us that the system can cope with that.
Right, thank you, good.
I'm sure it can. And the only question I have is that if we start inviting the public might not necessarily know which club or district.
Then we'll just be collegiate and share it 5 ways.
Yeah.
If we get $5 million from the public, we'll share it 5 ways.
Or should we share it proportionally in the way we've shared everything else?
No, let's just share it that way.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to get $5 million, Gary.
No. Bruce, just while we're on the topic of the budget, if I can turn to Bruce Anderson, your district is having an in-person conference. Is that still going ahead in light of the restrictions?
Okay, our district is planning on having a live in-person conference. Now, whether it goes ahead or not is actually out of my control and yours.
Absolutely.
For that matter. So we're planning on a live conference in Wangaratta from about the 19th to 20th, 21st of March. We have a backup plan or contingency plan, whatever you like to call it, where we will have the key speakers pre-recording stuff in case we have to do a virtual conference. So our expectation is that unless a ring of steel goes around Melbourne, we should be able to pull off a live conference at the Wangaratta Performing Arts Centre, but we are limited by spacing and those sorts of things. So we're at a point now where we have more registrants than we can actually fit in the theatre under the spacing rules. So we are taking additional registrations, but we're about to offer a discount to them because the later registrants will be in a spillover facility with a live feed rather than being there live. And we don't want to take the full amount of money for them if they can't actually be there face to face. So that's where we are with our conference, but it could blow up with less than 24 hours notice if everything closes down. So what we've done, we've agreed to pay the $5 per member levy right across the districts to support this event that you're putting on as the multi-district event for the Victorian-based districts. My dilemma is that if we do go ahead and have the live conference in 3.5 weeks' time in Wangaratta, I'm a little bit doubtful about asking people who weren't able to make it to Wangaratta, or in fact did make it to Wangaratta and paid their money, and then want to participate in this event, which we are fully promoting across our district. I'm a bit reluctant to go out and get the extra $20 per screen from them, because as I said earlier in the call, we've already transferred the $7,000 or something representing $5 per member across. And there's no way in the world we're going to get 1,507 members of the district all logging on in to screens on the day for this event. So
Bruce, can I just interrupt you there? I've only got you budgeted to have 30 attendees. So it's virtually nothing. And on the basis, I didn't really know, whether your people would want to participate or not. So it's a very low budget. It sort of, that equates to $600. It may be not worth worrying about.
We're actually planning on having more people attend this multi-district event than that, because we're promoting it through the district as a backup.
That's the backup, is it? Not a separate backup?
Yeah, so we're planning on getting my live conference out of the way, and then really promoting this multi-district event as something everybody should be tapping into.
Yep.
If there are only 30 of them, then I'd probably be saying, as a DG can say, don't charge them individually $20 per screen, send me the invoice and I'll cover that. But if 300 or 400 of our members decide they want to be part of the multi-district event, then that's a separate issue. Perhaps then they do have to pay.
But just to be clear,
no.
So just to be clear, can I say that my understanding of what's being proposed here is that the $20 doesn't get charged to the attendees. It's going to be paid by the districts.
Look, I think what we've got to come to is the districts will pay the levy of $5 per person, and will pay the budgeted allocation that we've had of the number of screens at $20 each. Now,
the district pays that to up, is that right?
Correct. But if
so in Bruce's case, I've only budgeted 30 attendees from his district. So multiplied by $20, that's $600.
That's all we get Bruce to pay, plus his share of 5% or $5 per his, his members,
which he's already paid.
Correct. So
yeah, you'll get more than 30 from our district, I've got to tell you. So anyway, I'll work on that as a separate issue now.
I think you'll get more from all of the districts, but I don't think we need to fatten the budget up anymore by charging districts for more screens. I think we've got enough to break even or have a small profit, and we'll just keep it at that. So if, for instance, Bruce has from 9790 300 screens, I don't think we should charge him $20 for each of those screens. I think we'll just keep it at the budgeted item right now.
We'll cover the budgeted amount. Sure.
Bruce, arising from what you've said, can you liaise with Philip and his promotion committee so to make sure that you've got whatever information you require to promote this conference at your in-person conference?
And look, Gary, totally happy to do that. What I'm going to say is my first priority is to get bums on seats at my conference, and then we're going to put all of the district resources to promote the multi-district event.
I understand that fully and respect it. But nevertheless, my job is to promote this conference. So forgive me if I do so unashamedly.
We're all working hard to make sure we get the maximum amount. And I think with a zero ticket price now for a screen and the option of just a donation, we'll have many more than we budgeted for coming in. But our costs aren't going to increase with more screens on there. So we should be in good shape. So Sandy did ask a question of me saying, can you explain the per screen share $20 cost? Sandy, we're not doing that anymore. So that's been taken away.
Thank you. I was getting a bit confused. I'm thinking, who's paying the $20? What is the cost? What's the screen? Thank you.
So originally we'd said $20 a screen, meaning a couple or a club coming on, just watching once on one screen will just pay $20. But there's no point in that.
If there's no other questions, I'll continue down the agenda. The next item on the agenda is governance, and there's nothing to report. It's probably not as important for this conference as it was for previous.
Sorry, Gary, could I just come back to the finance? There's just one other important thing I want to raise.
Sorry, Brian.
And that's how do we split up a profit? And if we have a loss, hopefully we won't have one. But I think it's important to just agree on what happens to the surplus.
Brian, I thought we did agree on that, and there's a minuted meeting that we were going to agree it on a pro rata basis.
Of attendees.
Are we happy? No.
Across the district.
No, I thought it was based on the population of the districts.
I'd have to go back to the minute, but my memory is that it was the attendees. But perhaps we can clarify that.
No, I put it in the letter out to the DGs that it was based on the population of the districts.
I'm very happy with that.
But I think in Bruce's case, you know, we probably need if his face-to-face goes ahead, then you know, it doesn't seem quite fair that he.
Brian, can I take that on board and talk to the other DGs? I think it's fairer, particularly from my district, having 2,200 members, that we actually say it's based on the attendees, because that'll be fairer to the smaller districts. So I'll take that up with the.
Well, are we going to know that though, Philip? I mean, it's screens, and how do you know how many people are behind screens? I think the population of the district's better, and maybe we just treat 9790 as say, I don't know, 10% or 20% or some much lower figure.
Now, if you look at the membership numbers, and 9810 would be disadvantaged. The other two districts, the other three districts have a few more people.
We're not talking about, I'm not sure, I'm sure we're not going to talk about much money. So, you know, when you talk about disadvantage, I think the main disparity in the whole thing is 9790.
No, I think 9790 would actually, if it were based on their membership, would do better than 9810.
They would, Philip, but what I'm saying is discount 9790 because they're probably going to have their own face-to-face, and therefore probably won't be so involved in the multi-district one, and therefore you know, a lesser share of a loss and a lesser share of a profit.
All right, let's agree that it is based on membership numbers, and I'll talk to Bruce offline about this, because I have a feeling that Bruce and his team will do a great job in bringing a number of people on board. He's very fierce about this, so let's say it's on membership numbers for the district, and we'll look at 9790 separately. I'll come back on that.
Okay, thank you.
Without wanting to prolong this, surely the even way to do it is just on exactly what the districts contribute in the first place, which is a mixture of the $5 levy plus the $20 screen portion each. So you just split it exactly like that, and then it's even.
Let's do that.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good.
So just to be clear, where's sponsorship money allocated? Seeing it's such a significant portion of it.
Gary, stop being greedy.
No, I think that's a good suggestion. If we just do it on,
Steve, well done.
Based on what the districts are going to contribute by way of a levy.
Yep.
Forget about the sponsorship. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you.
Agreed.
Bruce, you're happy with that?
I'm completely comfortable with that. My agenda here is to make sure that the people in my district get a conference experience of any kind in my year as DG.
That's
Best
okay.
case
The only other
scenario,
DG
they get
here
a
I thought I
live
should
conference.
run it past you.
Sorry. Best thing is they get a live conference and they get the multi-district event. That's the best outcome for me.
Good. I'll move down to the subcommittee reports if no one has any objections. Philip, is there anything to say about sponsorship and grants that hasn't already been said?
No, all good.
Anything to say about promotions that hasn't already been said?
All done.
Philip, can I just ask a question? I am concerned that we're now effectively 2 months and 1.5 weeks away from the conference.
Mhm.
When do you think we can get some material to actually send out to clubs other than save the date, which we've already done, of course?
Well, all the materials are done. They're ready to go. People have been promoting it. All the districts have been promoting it. So it has been promoted in every district. I know, Sandy. So I'll send out a package of information like we did for Australia Day in the next week.
Excellent, excellent.
Do you want a selfie frame as well, Sandy?
Do I want a selfie frame? Why?
To promote on the day. You promote before the day, you promote on the day, and you promote after the day. Anyway, we'll get all that information out.
I think it's just, yeah, if we just flood the market, we need to do. Imagine getting, I was just hearing, sorry, Bruce saying about getting all his people wanting to be, to go to a conference, but this is almost like 1 year where there's a real opportunity to get people who've never been before to come along, just because there's not the cost there involved. So it should be pretty awesome.
Mark's not here for IT. I don't know if anyone else wants to make any comments on that topic, but I don't think.
Stuart.
I did have an email from Mark about 20 minutes ago. Ben should have an update on the Humanitics website by tomorrow. Mark's also waiting on some information from read more images. So I'll have a chat to you, Philip, about that one as well, for marketing purposes, and we'll share that with you when we've got the website.
Mark's dealing directly with Desenio for any images he needs, so
Yes.
he's got that direct link with them, and he
Yes.
should be getting whatever he needs directly from them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Formal conference and speaker program. I almost sent around minutes of her meeting, which was last Monday. I don't know if anyone's got anything to add to that, but in her absence, I think we probably can't deal further with that at this time unless Philip's got something to add.
I think
I didn't get a copy of that, just to let you know. I don't know whether everybody else did.
Oh,
no, it was only you, Gary, and the DGs that got it. And I think what we've got to do as DGs is actually complement what Alma was trying to do with the speakers, and in particular with the MC. So Bruce, if you've got a young MC that can help, we need to know about it, because we're looking for 4 MCs now to try and get. Alma's put forward 2, and I think we need 2 MCs each day to help complement each other. So the profile is young, 1 road director and 1 young president, past president, that sort of thing.
I'll get back to you.
But the speakers are just about locked in. Then we need to look at the content for separate district breakout session, Gary.
okay. Well, I don't know whether this is the place to do that. So that's really under Elmer's and the individual DG's prerogative. Is there anything we need to put on a to-do list in respect to that?
Yes, there is, and we'll talk about that. Ian has got to go shortly, so Ian, Pierre, and I will catch up, and separately the fundraising committee will catch up as well in the next week.
So just on the speaker program though, I mean, as you said, we are quite a long way along in trying to put together a list of proposed speakers, and a number of them have been contacted and some even confirmed. So that's moving along quite nicely. I guess one significant question that I have though is there. Jenny tells me she's been speaking to Barry, and I've forgotten Barry's surname, but about that they want to pre-record everything. Is that an approach we definitely want to take? I mean, you know, I'd obviously we were originally giving the speakers the option to pre-record, but are we now saying that we want them to pre-record and that's the only option available to them?
Steve, it worked best when they were pre-recorded, but we did have one person come in directly on Australia Day. The finished product seems to be better when they are pre-recorded, but Jessie Harmon, for instance, did a great job more in person than being a pre-recorded message, because she wrapped the whole weekend up, kind of the whole program up, if you like. So for us, we need someone to wrap it up at the end, and it'll probably be the DG group that does that. But the speakers themselves, I think for us, all of them would probably prefer to be pre-recorded. If they prefer to be there in person, I'm sure the studio can cope with that.
Right. So we're encouraging basically pre-recording then. If anybody pushes back, we can obviously cater, but
correct.
It's probably less likely. I guess I just wanted to make sure you DGs were happy with that and you didn't want it to be more interactive.
Barry's from 9820, so that's Mark Humphrey's team. He's an ex-producer of TV programs on Channel 9 and BBC in the UK. So
his name's Barry Thomas.
Barry Thomas, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Linda. Great bloke, knows his stuff, and worked very well with the rest of the IT team that were there. So they complemented each other.
Very good. Again, I don't have a problem with the concept. I just wanted to make sure the DGs were happy that it was going to be predominantly, if not, except for you guys yourselves, of course, predominantly pre-recorded. So if you're happy, I'm happy.
And that stops the DGs from speaking too long too.
Well, according to Alma,
I'll move to the next topic on that note. We've got Government Liaison Quins of an apology today. I don't think there's anything that we need to touch upon unless someone's got something they wish to raise. There not being anything, I'll move to gamification. Again, I think that will fit in with the program and I don't need to touch upon that. Environment sustainability, is there anything that anyone has to say about that at this point?
I think that's just boiled down to not being if it was a face-to-face meeting, yes, Pat was going to put forward an environment sustainability policy that we followed, but now that it's all virtual, we're actually very green. But I think now they'd like to move towards having some content in the program, which is fair enough, and I'm sure Alma and the committee are taking care of that.
That's absolutely the case, Philip. So it's a speaking slot rather than something that we're trying to achieve as a conference overall.
And we've got Vic Grosjean there, Ian Risley speaking about stuff, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
We haven't got anyone here from Rotaract. I'd therefore like to just go through the virtual room and just make sure that anyone who has anything they wish to ask about or say has an opportunity to do so. Might I start with you, Sandy?
The one thing that sort of is just coming to my mind, and I'm sure IT have got it covered, is just how we smoothly break into district breakup rooms as such. So I'm presuming it'll have to be a separate sign-on link or something, but that was just one thing that was coming to my mind as to how we do the break off into different districts.
I've got no doubt that Mark will be able to work all of that out and will advise us in due course.
Yeah.
There's a number of different options, and he'll consider what's best.
The other thing that I think Elma raised was just who is putting together the actual program as such, like actually compiling the program along with biographies of each of the speakers. So just compiling the detail as to how we wanted to manage that.
I would propose that I work with Alma, Mark, Bruce and Philip with that. And we get that written up between ourselves.
Yeah, beautiful.
Good. Brian, is there anything else you wish to raise?
I've just done some refiguring here and realised I made a mistake on the revenue. There's actually more than I've previously said, so it means we come out to a slightly higher budget. So just trying to work.
I was trying to tell you that we had a bit more money in the can there. But...
Oh, Philip, you're always ahead of me. I know that. But
I bet you have too much than too little.
Yeah.
Stephen. Steve?
As long as you're smiling, Brian.
No, look, nothing from me. I was just going to raise the same issue that Sandy asked about compiling a document. We'll obviously, as speakers get confirmed, we'll pass on that information to somebody. But yeah, whether that needs to be promoted, then once we know the speakers, whether we change our promotions, I don't know.
Or we complement the promotions as soon as we get the speakers. We put them up on the website and blast the hell out of the social media elements that we have.
Lynn?
Yes, Beverly Pinder's dropped out of the entertainment side of it, and Philip's introduced Sue Foley.
Yes.
And I also contacted Kusha Edwards, who Alma's keen to have, and I did beg him, could he do it for nothing? But he's come back with $900 plus 90 GST. And
sign him up, Lynn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Alma said we had $3,000, which Brian, I realise you haven't, unless that's in your production side of things.
No, I've got $2,000. $2,000, Lynn. I've got for interludes for the virtual conference, plus $1,000 for the Welcome to Nation.
Right. So because you've just found some money, and the poor old entertainers haven't worked for 12 months, can we have some more money?
Yep. What do you think is reasonable?
Lynn, you're going to need only 3 entertainers. And if you've got Kuchar and he's charging $900, nearly $1,000, so that's good.
Yeah.
Still got $1,000 left. And I'm sure David Mann has a couple of people there for you and Sue to consider that would be free. So I think if we need more money, Sue Foley is listening to this. Hello, Sue.
So we need 6 entertainers altogether. There's 3 on each day.
Okay.
Yeah. According to the program Alma sent out.
Sue, you're not, Sue, you're muted.
Okay, so my apologies. Sorry, I've been listening, but I've been on the road. I believe Alma has approached one performer. She
Kuchar
wanted
Edwards.
to jump on that. Big one.
Kuchar Edwards, which
That's
Lynn has,
it.
Lynn has
I've
signed
done
him up.
that. Yeah.
Okay, so that's I don't know if they've confirmed or not, but and then so we haven't talked about the other 5 yet, but there's certainly some names that we can talk about.
Okay, I'll contact you tomorrow then, Sue. Is that okay?
That'd be great, Sandy.
Yep.
If you need more money, Lynn and Sue, just talk to Brian. He's very generous.
Excellent.
Well, what would you be comfortable with? Is it would 3,000 or 4,000? What do you think?
Oh, maybe 6.
It depends on the
What do you
name.
think, Sue? Yeah.
Depends on who you're trying to attract. So and whether whether you get their mates rates and all that sort of stuff. So but we can have a talk tomorrow, Sandy, about some names who you think might be prepared to donate, and others that might require some payment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just continuing around, Stuart.
I don't think I have any more to add than I had before.
Good. Linda?
No, I'm right. Thank you. Oh, lost my.
Linda? Morris?
Yeah, no. Can you hear me? Sorry, I'm right. Thank you.
That's fine. Now, Sue Foley, I don't think I've actually asked, unless she's got something more to add.
No, I don't. I'm all good. Thank you for the time being.
Good. Bruce?
Yeah, just one thing. I know that this multi-district conference in Victoria is not necessarily an R100 function, but I realised recently that there are several other countries in the world that are actually celebrating their 100th anniversaries in this very same year. And if there is any possibility in the program somewhere of recognising that, I would like to see that happen. We can mention it all again in the R100 celebrations, but what comes to mind is there's an area of southern Mexico that's celebrating their 100 years, and I think some of the other South American countries. So I think it would be important somewhere in the program if we could just get the message across while we're all celebrating our 100th anniversary, so too other parts of the world.
Great idea, Bruce.
Good point. Philip, is there anything else you'd like to raise?
Only that we need to go to Leslie and make sure Leslie's.
Sorry, Leslie, did I leave you out?
That's all right. No, I'm all
My
good. Thank you. All good. No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Good. Philip,
Thanks.
anything else?
I'm all good. Thanks, Gary.
Good. I'd like to talk about when we have the next get together, taking into account that time is on the wing. I think we should get together in 2 weeks' time, even if it's only a very short meeting, to talk about where we're up to in terms of promotion and get a status report in terms of the speakers. Does that suit everybody?
Suits me.
That is the
Okay.
Labor Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Labor Day's holiday. Just
That's
to
the
let you know.
Labor Day. Can we do it? What about the Tuesday of that week?
What date are you talking?
The Tuesday after a Labor Day. Sandy, can you help me out with the date just
I
quickly?
think it might be the 9th, Gary. I think it might be Tuesday the 9th.
Tuesday, yeah.
Hold on. Labor Day. No,
Labor Day's the 8th, is it?
2 weeks is the first, Sandy.
No, it's not.
Is it?
No,
No,
Tuesday, no,
Tuesday
that's
is
the
the
week. The
The
week.
28th and then the.
First.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is the 8th.
Yep.
Well, does the 9th suit people?
I've got Rotary, but that doesn't matter. Can you make it earlier or not?
Well, I certainly can. I don't know about everybody else.
Oh.
Gary, I would really like the DGs to be here, so can we ask them first?
Well, I can only ask those that are here, Brian.
No, I think it ought to be put off until we can get those people here.
I agree that
can
and particularly we need
thank
Philip
you,
from 9780 because he hasn't been at the last couple of meetings. So.
Well, let's set the 9th as a tentative meeting, subject to the reply from the DGs.
Are you happy if I send them an email tonight and ask
Yes,
them?
that would be wonderful.
Yeah. I think Mark's particularly important too.
And we'll set it for the same time at 5:30.
To be confirmed, eh?
Home from work. Unless there's any other matters, I'll bring the meeting to a close and thank everyone for their attendance.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll see you shortly, Philip.
Multi-district meeting.